Welcome to our living room.
That was so cheesy. Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Kyle.
And this is our handmade home.
In Brooklyn, New York.
I'm a designer and, for lack of a better phrase, content creator.
Yeah.
And Kyle also works with me on Awesome.
Photographer, handyman.
Support system.
Yeah. I had a separate job, but she was like, oh, can you help me on the weekends? So I was like, sure. And then we sort of decided that we were a really good team.
We do a lot of DIY projects.
Did we do the floor first?
So our floor used to be a brown wood, and we put these vinyl planks on top of them that are really great for renters. They don't stick to the floor, they just stick to each other. So when we leave, we can just tear them all up. So here we are in our kitchen.
It's beautiful.
This is our lovely countertop change. It used to be kind of a black and orange color. We got a kit to paint the countertops, and it was actually really easy to use.
We sponged like minerals on it to get the desired marbling effect, and then you put a top coat on it to cure it.
We added these poles. These are just things we painted from IKEA.
Yeah.
They're just spray painted, and then we changed the knobs as well. So this backsplash is actually a peel and stick. I thought it was gonna be like a whole situation, like wallpapering, but it was literally just a big sticker that you put on. The living room was a little bit harder for us because it is part of the kitchen basically, and it's hard in this space to figure out where exactly a living room would go.
Trying to divide the spaces so that it flowed but still felt separate. All right, give me a countdown and we'll see if we can do this.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to our living room.
That was so cheesy.
I think you had your heart set on that couch the first time you saw it, and that was sort of like the centerpiece. She's like, I'll just make everything else work around the couch. And then we got the couch, and it was a little bigger than I think we both expected.
Yeah, we always have the problem of you think that you know how big something is, even if you measure it out with a measuring tape, you think like, okay, I get how big this is, and it arrives, and it's like, all right, it's either smaller than you expected or larger than you expected. So this console table we had originally, it was just completely plain and on the ground.
Yeah.
We decided that it kind of needed a little bit more height, so we added legs to it, we drilled holes for knobs. So we took this thing that was very inexpensive and we added touches to it and
elevated it.
Made it look a little bit more elevated. The shelving in our corner by the windows was kind of all you.
Bringing it over the door and sort of having this whole wall display of everything that we like, and cool books and prints.
You also researched how to style a shelf a lot.
I did research how to style a shelf because I had no idea. I found out that you're supposed to put things in odd groups, so you've got like 3 things here, we've got 5 things here. It's not a hard rule, but it helps draw your eye, because what you do is you put like a group of objects here, and a group of objects here, and a group of objects here, and it makes a triangle, and then your eyes follow that triangle up and down and over and left and right. And it just sort of makes things very appealing.
So similar to what we did in the kitchen with the handles, we changed out all the doorknobs, so this did not come with the apartment.
No.
But we still kept the old ones, we can change those back. They're surprisingly way easier to change than you would think they are.
For the bedroom, we have like a tiki 60s, 70s vibe.
We definitely have a color palette in there that is a little bit different. So this was the first thing we made in the room, was this wall hanging. It was a labor of love, to say the least.
Definitely a true labor of love.
This is one of the things that has taken us longer than I think any other projects, just because the tassels alone took a very long time, but it was kind of an almost all Kyle project.
I think it came out pretty well considering I did it.
So we decided to have our whole like record player situation in here. Like you wake up, put on a record, start your day. So the neon sign, I guess, is the thing in here that has the most story behind it, because we didn't, when we got married, we eloped, so we didn't obviously have like a first dance. But we decided to have a first dance anyway, and we did it to Just Like Honey by Jesus and the Mary Chain. So here's our little homage to that.
Romance.
Yeah, romance.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
And subscribe to Handmade for more home tours like this.
Bye.
Stop. You watch too much YouTube. All right, go again.
All right.